All right, once again to another episode of Sports Therapy March Madness. I am your host, F.H. Jr. It has been a wild and wild and woolly night, man. I'm talking about bracket busting all the way around. A little bit about the show. Callers, you'll have 2 minutes to call in at 940-329-4110 if you want to be a live guest and let's talk about nothing but March Madness. You have 2 minutes to call. You can rip, rant, kick some knowledge, throw a punch, cut somebody out. I don't know, man. So we just gonna jump right in, and cause you know what we do is that we like to wrap it and cap it, and so we're gonna wrap and cap and talk about what has been going on in the world of football, in the world of basketball. Sports Dad with F.A. Jr.
What's going on, my boy?
Man, man, I don't even know, brother.
Uh,
You talk
I
about
just,
bracket busting all the way around, my brethren.
I just called and see do I still have a chance.
Man, you know what? In my pool, everybody got a chance. Everybody got a chance in my pool, man. Hell,
Yeah,
everybody got a chance, man. I don't know,
I
man.
ain't never seen nothing like it.
You know what? What I'm finding is a pattern, and what I'm seeing with all the teams that's still standing. We talk about Florida Atlantic, Creighton, San Diego State. The majority of those teams are teams that have junior and seniors. You know, they're teams that are mixed up, made up of juniors and seniors. And that's what I'm seeing. That's the pattern I'm seeing here. We got juniors and seniors,
Yep.
and you know, even Alabama, even though they bit the dust, they had their guards were pretty much juniors and senior guards, so they had good guard play. But anything other than that, man, you talk about, um, and you know, we talked the other night, and what I said, and I still stand by that. I say when whatever you get out of freshmen is gravy. You cannot go into a game thinking that the freshmen are going to carry us to victory. We didn't see it with the Razorbacks, and they had what 3, 4, 5-star freshmen. And tonight we didn't see it with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Roll Tide, baby. But
Yep. It's just it's experience, man. What it's all come down to experience.
oh man,
Uh, Alabama had a hell of a team this year, but like you said, there was school like the Florida Atlantic, San Diego State. They had veteran team. I
yes,
think San Diego State played earlier this year. They had a good team.
yes, yes, indeed, they did. They had a good team, and
Mm.
that's what we saw. All we have been seeing is, and we said it at the beginning at the beginning of the at tip off. We said, look, there is no team that you can. Although Alabama was the quote unquote
Quote
number
unquote.
number
Number
one,
number one.
but
Hello.
the thing of it is, they were the quote unquote, you know, overall number one. But we knew that wasn't gonna last, because we kept saying there are no team that you can just say they are the team to beat.
Not this year.
Not this year.
There was no dominant team. Nah.
Nah.
Well, nobody dominating this year.
Now let's talk about, and I want to spend a little bit of time, and of course, this is a recap of tonight's game, and that was Florida. I'm sorry, that was Miami, Miami over Houston. That was see. I don't call anything a shocker,
Nah.
but that Miami team, that's a veteran. That is a veteran-led team too.
And
But
they dangerous too.
they are dangerous,
They
man. They are
they dangerous.
dangerous. Yeah.
Dangerous. And you know what I found out tonight watching a few of them games. And a lot of them guys played at school like Little Rock and Arkansas State.
Yes.
And man, them guys transferred and turned out to be some hell of a ball players, man.
Well, what they're doing is that when you are a junior or a junior or senior, or in some cases you're that graduate senior, where these guys are coming in and they have experience, and that's what it's going to take. Um, yeah, they may not have the athleticism of some of these younger freshmen, but their upside may not be as high. But we're talking about the here and now, and that goes back to the coaches. You got to figure out as a coach, what type of team are you trying to build? Are you trying to build off of the Kentucky model where you just get all blue chippers every year and just, what, we know they're gonna be one and done. We're gonna make this run. We're gonna win the championship, and then I start over with a brand new team, or you get like some of these coaches who are building the team based on transfers, junior college guys, and guys who've been with the league, who've been with the team since day one. And it seemed like, you know, um, this year it seems like the model where you getting transfers and guys who've been with the team. It seems like that is the winning formula, man. What do you think?
I think it is experience paying off this year because, like you said, you look at a team like Miami, even man, UConn. I mean, all the teams that, like you said, winning. They're more like a veteran ball club, and you could tell the difference by the experience, the way they play.
Yes, even Gonzaga,
Yeah,
because
that's right.
because they was talking to Drew Timmy, and he said, "Hey, look, I came back, and I don't know if this is fifth year, sixth year, 7 years. Seems like Drew Timmy been around forever, but what he said
Really,
made sense. He said, look, yes, I can go to the NBA, and I'm forecast to be picked in middle, second, maybe third round pick. And at the end of the day, if that's the case, then I'm gonna make maybe league minimum, um, full 500,000 dollars a year, or I can stay in college based on name, image, and likeness. I can make over $1 million. Which one would you choose?
staying in college.
Yes, and that's what he did. Hell, if
Yes,
Drew Timmy
yeah,
could, he'd stay another year.
yeah, and he's smart. I don't blame him.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't fault him for that neither.
no, no,
No,
no,
I don't fault him.
no.
He's a seasoned. He might not be a great uh great player, but he's a hell of a good player.
Yes,
He's the type of player he ain't gonna make no mistake. He's not gonna make you lose the game,
and he's
and
a
he's not gonna
and he
agree.
and he's a good college player.
Good college player. That's right.
Hmm. Now,
But yeah, I now go ahead. I was gonna say
go ahead.
a lot of them teams got exposed during the tournament.
Ooh,
You know, a
did they?
team like Houston, yeah, they got exposed. We looking at teams. I'm looking at teams like Houston all year, and didn't realize they kind of similar to like Arkansas. They big and athletic, but they don't have no shooters. Man, these days you need shooters, man.
True,
You
true.
need shooters.
That is so true.
Yeah, I don't care how big you can bang, how tough you is, or how you play. You need shooters, man. You need somebody to stroke that basketball consistently.
You got to have some people.
And teams that don't, yeah, the teams that got put out, even Arkansas, the Houston, or I ain't gonna say Alabama, but most of them teams didn't just have no consistent shooter.
And you can throw
They need
Alabama,
somebody that,
you can throw Alabama in there too, because they live and
that's
die
true.
by the long ball, except for when they're on, and when they off, and man, they can throw that bad boy in the ocean.
Man, I'm gonna tell you a dangerous team. All them teams that who I think will win the whole thing. I might be wrong though.
UConn,
Man, that team Texas got a. I think Texas dangerous too, man.
Yeah, and see the thing about Texas is that I think the winner out of the Texas UConn, I think that's gonna be the national championship. That's other than if anybody else other than them, I think it'd be San Diego State.
Yeah. And you kind of remind me of that '94 Arkansas team.
Yes, yes,
They remind me so much of that team with Nolan Richardson had at Arkansas in '94. They got the bigs, they got the shooters, and they just sound solid all over at every position.
and they play
They
defense,
play
man.
good defense.
And
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, they gave the Hogs, and I don't know if that was their best game they ever played all year, and I don't know if it was a combination of UConn's best game against a combination of our worst game. But what I can tell you is they put on a clinic and they taught our young hogs a lesson because
they sure did.
if anything, they showed Nick Smith and Jordan Wash and my man Black that you're not really ready for the NBA. Now they can choose to go. They can make that decision
Yeah,
because I don't hate on any man's money. But if you talk about from a pure basketball sense, I think those three could use another year.
too. And especially Nick. And I'm not putting him down
I'm saying
because,
all of
but
them,
he
bro.
need another year. Yeah, all of them, man.
All of them.
Really, all of them.
Because
Yeah,
reason
yeah,
I say that is I look at my man Black, and it was a way he would take the ball to the hoop. For a young guy to be that big, that strong, he got to learn to take the ball to the hoop with some power. A lot of times he get around the
yeah,
rim, he take it to the rim, then he try to finesse, and then you see how they were blocking that ball, throwing it right back at him. And then in the next league,
yeah.
you got to go up there and try to dunk that ball. And when you know what I'm saying, you got to go up there and dunk that ball and make the referees have to give you a call. I'm gonna dunk it, or he's gonna foul me. But I'm not finna get to the rim and then try to do some little finesse play. And every time, boy, they were just slapping his ball against the backboard. Like, dude, you're going to have to learn to go up there with some power, baby. And he got it, but that's where
Yeah,
that extra year comes in.
right. And you take a team like UConn, they got a grown man team.
Yes.
They grown. They got a grown man. It's like junior high playing against a senior high last night,
Man, it looked that way, didn't it?
and yeah, look at it showed. Experience showed. But like I said, when they came with that NIL deal, that's the best thing that kind of really happened to college
I,
basketball,
I agree.
especially because it's helped. It really did the best, one of the best NCAA tournaments I've
Yes.
seen in years.
As far
Yeah,
as you're not knowing what's gonna happen, as far as keeping you glued to your seat, you know, you really don't, man. It's like
yeah,
except for a few, there was not too many bad games where I could just say, okay, they killing these guys here. I don't need to see this. In fact, I'll take you back to last night when UCLA and UConn. Now, in my bracket, I had UCLA favored to beat UConn, and it looked like they were going to do it. And they jumped
I
out
did too.
about 15 points, and slowly UConn reeled them back in. And then finally, when they hit that last shot, one of the players, man, he shot it from the March Madness side, and and man, you talk about that was a sick feeling if you were for the UCLA, man. That was truly a sick feeling, brother.
Man, I already know. I know they had a hard time sleeping last night.
Oh man, and but it goes back
Man,
to why would you let anybody just take a straight line path? Nobody made him move. Nobody cut in front of him. Nobody did anything. And dude just went straight down the court and pulled a three with about one and left 1.1 second left. it's like I'm like, man, this is over, man. You can't do nothing in 1.1 seconds when you got to go the distance of the court.
And man, I think, man, man, I look at a team like Miami. Man, I seen them play a couple times this year, and man, I just didn't think they were gonna be like they is now. They got it together at the right time.
Yeah, I saw him play a couple
They got
times
it
too.
together
I
they
saw
got
him
it
play,
together at the right time.
and that's what it's
They got some
about.
good guards.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
peaking at the right time and then riding that
Right.
momentum all the way through. That is exactly what
Yeah,
that's what March Madness is about.
yeah. That's what it's about, man.
And see, that was a
That's
conversation I
what it's
had with
all about.
that was a conversation I had with one of my other buddies. I was telling him, I said, as far as we were talking about the Razorbacks, I said, I said I'm a firm believer in when you get into the championship tournaments, I don't ever want to win that tournament. I want to maybe reach the finals, semifinals, the finals, and lose. And then my team get hungry again because if you start from the start of the tournament, you're winning all the way, and you win the championship, and then you got to go and go into March Madness, the big dance. You hadn't had that loss, so that means that loss is gonna come. You're not gonna win. Sooner or later you're gonna get beat. That's why I would rather play, get to the finals, semifinals, lose in the conference championship or so, and that way I get a reset, man. Kids get it's a mind reset.
All right, because pressure builds. It's pressure in the game today. And these days, there's a lot of pressure on them kids. They getting money for the NIL and they trying to get to the NBA. And it's like it put a lot of pressure on.
True that, because
But
yeah,
yeah, but you got. I think I heard. I was talking to a guy earlier. We were talking about basketball, and he said one thing, man. He said every team in college basketball this year got a good player.
true,
Ain't no dominant player like Kentucky and they used to Duke,
right,
Carolina they used to dominate. Them days over with, man. Now the mid major got dominant player,
right.
good enough to be top notch player. Yeah. So I like it the other way better. You get better competition, and you get a chance to see players you probably hadn't heard of them before the season started. The player will break it in. You got breakout players shining, like that
Right.
boy from Miami, that boy Wong or whatever. Man, that boy
Yeah.
big time.
Now let me tell you something about him.
Yeah,
I've been watching him ever since he was like a freshman, man. And he ain't no somebody just coming along on the scene because
nah,
he's always been a ball player.
he sure hell. He tough, man. I like him.
He's always been a player.
I like that big boy from Connecticut,
Yes.
Santiago, whatever, man.
Yeah.
That boy that got they holler about he played like Big Nasty. That boy played a little bit more physical than Corliss Williams back in the day.
And I'll tell you what,
He's more physical about it.
we could not do nothing with him at all. At
I don't
all.
think nobody call it. I don't think nobody call it basketball in that tournament could do nothing with it.
At all, man.
I don't see nobody in that tournament can handle it.
And
When I seen him put that move, on Kamani Johnson, and Kamani Johnson was playing him as good as anybody could play him. When he did Kamani Johnson right there, I said, shit, Arkansas don't have nothing for him. They don't have nothing. Yeah.
And like they said about Kamani Johnson, like, hey man, he got hard. He was just too small, man. Because Kamani rolled around by about 6'6", 6'7", 220. Old boy rolled about 6'9", 6'10", about 250, 260.
250.
Yeah, and
he was more.
yeah.
But
And
Kamani Johnson, I give him respect though. He tried.
Oh
But
yeah,
he
gonna bring
small.
the fight to you. He's gonna bring the fight to your door.
Yeah. And the Mitchell boys, they just go out to get physical, man. Get tougher too.
So now let me ask you this question. And is it too early to say this? Is it too early to say this? and I'm talking about uh, Coach Musselman. Is he a good recruiter and not such a good coach? Because talent alone is going to get you a certain you're going to achieve a certain wins and whatever on talent alone. But when you get the talent, you got to be able to get that talent across the line. In other words, if I give you that team, if I give you that team, I think you could get that team to the Sweet 16 based on talent. Is he a
Right.
good recruiter and not such a great college coach, or is it too early?
I'm gonna say it's too early right now
Mm-hmm.
because some of the fact is he made some decisions in the coaching decision this year I really didn't agree with, and he made a few good moves, that clicked and he made a difference in the game. But he made some like man, what's the boy name? Boy from Arizona State transfer.
Oh,
Man, you recruited that guy, but that guy, what is his name? I think.
Graham.
But you recruited that guy, but
Graham.
Graham. But Graham, but Graham ain't got no shot though, man. He can't shoot
Right.
no more than a goal, and he needs to get some shooters, man. That's what he needs, some shooters. And I know it's something out there. He just need to go find him some shooters now.
Yeah.
He got the big guy that can bang on the goal. He just needs some shooters.
So. Are we saying that that the jury is still out? Because the reason I asked you that question is I look at, to me, Arkansas is a team that can roll 10 deep, and they could beat you just by just playing 10 guys. But Musselman, his style, he shortens up his bench, and he's only gonna roll with about, I don't know, 6, 7 guys at the most.
Yeah.
So there's some
Yeah.
games where some of those guys don't even get to play.
That's right, man.
So I'm saying now, I'm like, okay, if that's the case, you're not going to, why come to my college and recruit me? And if you know what I'm saying, I just
Right.
think,
That's what I've been saying all year.
you know. So
Yeah, because I look at that boy, that Donnie, the Donnie boy from Alabama, that freshman. That boy's a 2-time player of the year in the state of Alabama.
mm-hmm.
You 2-time state of the year, a player of the year in the state of Alabama, in basketball or football, that means something.
Yeah.
To me.
Because
and then for you to sit that kid on the bench all year, and then give him a chance, all about because he didn't have a good practice or don't play defense hard enough. You don't know what those kids will do if you put them in the game and give them a chance.
because
They
reason
won't judge them about what they do in practice.
the reason I asked that question because to me, as deep as the team as the Hogs have, they could have been running running a lot of teams to death just by wearing them down. Yeah, and what I didn't see that. I would see now.
I would see. Yeah.
I understand where the still world, okay, guy get 2 fouls, he goes to the bench. But it was like there were some guys, because to me Pinion could have played a lot more. You could have used Pinion a lot more. Pinion can stroke it now. He may not be as good because he's a freshman too. But Pinion, he's a shooter. Lil Ford, you could have got something out of Ford, because if anything, Ford got some weight. He's probably a good defensive kid. You could have got something. You could at least got 2 or 3 good minutes out of those guys, and not only that, they're getting seasoned. They're getting experience. So it's almost like, but because you're not going to keep all those guys, even if Wash and Black and Nick go into the draft, You got some of these other guys that are gonna probably hit the transfer and say, well, you know what? Hell, I was here. I didn't get to play, so I'm going somewhere so I can play. And those are the kind of guys that end up at San Diego State, end up with a Miami. Those are the kind of guys that end up playing for Creighton, where they go to those schools and they play 3 or 4 years, and you run against them now that they've been there for 4 or 5 years and they juniors and seniors, and you're still bringing in 5-star freshmen and hitting the transfer portal, and your team ain't gelling until January, December, and you get into the big dance. Guys like that junior and senior team, those are the type of teams that put you out.
Yeah, sure do. And that's why I said the jury's still out. The jury's still, he's a good recruiter because he don't recruit at McDonald's.
Yeah,
McDonald's
that's what I'm saying.
Since he's been there.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Is he a good recruiter and not too good of a coach? Or is it too early to ask that question?
I want to say it's too early right now. I want to say it's too early.
But you can't say I haven't put it. You can't say I haven't put something on your mind.
But I will give him to this season coming up to see what he's gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Because this year, this team here coming up, I think everybody should. Most of the guys, he gonna lose some, but most of them should be back.
Mm-hmm.
But because he didn't really recruit for 2 guys in high school, and this is gonna be a veteran ball club coming up, and I just want to see how he's gonna do this year.
Because
the season coming up,
there were times I was asking, why are we not playing those Mitchell boys back to back? Why are we not playing both of them together?
That's what I thought. Especially against a team like UConn.
Yes.
Against a team.
It's like, and I'm thinking too. I'm at my house screaming at my TV, Coach, you got to go big, man. We getting killed on the boards.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting killed on the boards, man.
Yeah.
Go big.
I don't know.
But you know, it's easy to coach from the house. I'm not gonna lie, man. Hell, it's easy to be at home. Yeah. You know, coaching, drawing up plays from my couch and stuff. But I was just looking at that. And I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to think you are a great recruiter, but do you know X's and O's?
That's a good question, though. That's a hell of a question because this is 3rd or 4th year.
This is pretty much his third. Maybe is it his 5th year?
This is 4th, 5th year coming up.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I say it's his 5th year. First year he did real good with what he had, and then he went to 2 consecutive Elite 8 and then Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, the jury's still out on him. I want to see what he's gonna do this year coming up, and that'll tell me a whole lot more. Because these days in coaching, you have to give them time because all the transfer rules and everything now, and recruiting, you just have to give them time and see how they gonna work their players out and everything.
I agree.
So it's hard to say. It's hard to judge a coach the first 2 or 3 years. But I think that coach from the University of Texas, I think he did a hell of a job with what he had to go through.
And that was going to be my next question that I was going to ask you. Has he done enough to get the job full time?
More than enough. Yes, sir. More than enough.
To get the job full time.
Oh, yeah, they should have been a took it out. Yes. Oh, yes, he has. He did more than enough. And if they don't give him the job, somebody be glad to come and get him.
And if you're the University of Texas, if you don't give him the job, you're going to have some problems with keeping the team that you got.
And anybody want to come there.
Right. Nobody's going to want to come there.
Because Texas is doing better right now than they have. Even when Chris Beard, the year or 2, Texas doing better now. He coaches just better than Chris Beard is. He's doing a hell of a job at Texas.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Now let me tell you something about the state of Texas. The state of Texas has some good Texas always got athletes, good basketball players, but for some strange reason, they go somewhere else. Look how many guys we came in and picked up from Texas. You got
Yeah,
Wash and Black.
Black. Yeah,
Now
yeah.
if I'm somebody at UT or Texas A&M or Houston or and I'm like, okay, how are these guys getting out of our backyard? Now, one thing I can tell you that Muss is doing, and I like, is that he's keeping all that homegrown talent in Arkansas, because that used to frustrate me. Is when I would see the Razorbacks playing, say Miami or Missouri or some other team, and I realize, oh wait a minute, this boy he's from Jacksonville, Arkansas. He's from Little Rock. I'm like, wait a minute, how do we not get this kid? And he's killing us. Did we not recruit him? So you got to always recruit your backyard first. You know,
He doing a good job of it.
yeah, oh yeah.
Cause he got a boy. He got a boy coming in next year. He went to school in Little Rock Central. That boy big time.
Well,
He gonna be big time.
good, because now there's another kid that has some Arkansas ties, and I think I was just talking to a friend of his dad, kid named Michael Thomas. Now, remember this name, because Michael Thomas, when I was working at one of my other schools, he was I think he was like a seventh grader then, and he was always playing up. So now, parents are from Warren, Arkansas. Grandma, dad's from Warren, but now the dad's a coach now at Waco. But at the time, that kid, that kid's dream is always to be a hog. I mean, he's Razorback style. I mean, he spends the summer in Arkansas. He grew up there. They just moved to Texas, I think, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years. But they have some deep, deep, deep ties. Now, let me tell you something about Michael Thomas. He's always had guard skills because he played guard. Now, when he was in the seventh grade, when he was in the seventh grade, man, he was 6'4" as a seventh grade. Now, not a skinny seventh grader. He was a 6'4", and he also played football, so he was a quarterback. So, and he could play every position on the on the court. He could be your center. He remind me more of a Black, the kid Black that we have now. So now I was checking last time I checked, and that was like maybe 2 years ago. Mike, he's probably about a junior or senior now, but I know last time I checked, he was like 6'8", 6'9". He's 6'8", 6'9", and he's a good kid because he's a coach's kid, so he's a good kid. But I know he wanted to play for the Hogs, and so I contacted some people down there. I sent a video. I said, "Hey man, I don't know if this kid's on your radar," because that's when he's a 10th grader. Now he was ranked behind at the time, and he was in the 8th grade then. He was ranked right behind LeBron's kid as the best 8th grader in the country. And like I said,
Wow.
he's probably a junior or senior now, and he's about 6'8", and because his dad is 6'4", his mom is about 6 feet. So he's gonna catch some height. That's in the genes. So, and I was saying, last time I talked to one of my partners down there, he said he ran into his dad at I don't know, if it was at a family reunion or something, and he says that Arkansas is on him and trying to get him to come there. And like I said, man, if they can get that kid, man, that is going to be a good win for the Hogs, man. Because I don't know how tall he is now. He may be about 6'9", 6'10", but like I said, he's not a skinny kid, man. He's a kid with some weight, man. Because last time I talked to his dad, I think Michael was like 6'7", 6'8", and I think he's about 220, 225.
Wow.
And like I said,
He shoot that ball, huh?
yeah, he can shoot that ball, man. He got range, he got inside game, and he can handle that ball. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
What?
and
It, it, we Texas got plenty of them.
Yeah, and see the thing about Texas is that they lose a lot of talent, man, to Arkansas, especially to the SEC. They lose a lot of talent to Oklahoma. And if you're the great state of Texas, you got to try to figure out how do we keep some of this homegrown talent. How do we keep that? How do we keep that? How do we prevent that from, how do we stop the Razorbacks and all these other teams from bagging trucks up and getting our kids and stuff? So they got to come up with something because Texas has athletes. But when I talk to all
Oh,
kids in
plenty of
Texas, you know what all the kids in Texas want to do? They
them.
tired of living in Texas. They want to leave Texas, and that's how you recruit them.
Yeah.
They just want to be able man, I'm tired of being in Texas. I want to go to Texas. I want to go to Texas, and they love these hogs. Boy, I don't know why they love. You give them some hog gear, man. Them kids, man, they love some woo pig suey, baby. Woo pig. They
Man,
do, man. They do.
man.
Woo pig suey.
I was looking at some of the guys. I was looking at some of the guys. Must recruit some hell of a players though, man.
Yes, he does.
He recruits some hell of a guy.
And it goes
Yeah.
back to the question that I asked you before: Is he a good? Is he just a good recruiter? You know, and time is going to tell. Because to me, there were a couple of games that the Razorback lost that I blame on the coaching staff for not being able to coach those games in. Yeah, when you got some
I think
freshmen, whatever. Yeah, there have been some times. It was a couple of games. Yeah, we had some injuries and stuff like that. But it's like, come on, man. Some of these games we had no business losing because Arkansas was projected to finish no less than second in the conference.
right. And they wind up finishing 10th.
Yes,
I'm like, in 10th, yeah.
I would look up.
And I,
We get beat by LSU. We get beat by Texas
yeah,
A&M. We get beat by
yeah,
Vanderbilt. I was like, man, seriously, what are we doing here?
yeah. They were supposed to be losing a team like them.
No, sir,
Nah,
not
you were supposed
at
to lose a team
all.
like
Not at all. We got no business losing to teams like that. Not at
But like I
all.
said, he need to go out this year. He need to go out this year and get a computer.
And,
Yeah.
and, and
He
I
needs to
don't
go and get a
and I
computer.
don't want anybody to think that I'm ragging Coach Musk because man, I actually love what the guy's doing. He's putting the Hogs back on the map. We got all that good enthusiasm back. But at the same time, sometimes people from Arkansas think that you cannot talk about the team or the coach, and they think that you disloyal. That just yeah, I like the team. That don't mean that they get just a free pass. Yeah, we're not issuing them free
All
passes.
right, all right. And he, like I said, this year should tell the difference. But he wanted to go out and get him some shooters, man. He don't have nobody on that team this year to just say, hey, straight out. I want to tell you another
Now,
difference in that game
Pinion,
last night.
Pinion can stroke it. Pinion can shoot it, and
Right,
and I think
right.
had he stayed with Pinion enough, at least had him in a role where Pinion knew that I'm gonna be seven man. You know that every night, eventually, because he's a freshman, eventually he would have got the confidence to where he would have developed that killer instinct. So I think during the summer, Pinion, because Pinion ain't no little kid. Pinion's about 6'6", 6'6". You know,
Yeah.
so he got some
He
height
about
to him.
6'6", yeah.
Yeah. So and like I said,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be the shooter that they're missing. I guarantee you. And I'm sure he'll get in the trap. And one thing I do know about Coach Musk is that he takes a look at he self evaluates. He takes a look at what his strengths are and what his weaknesses are, and he goes into the portal and he gets what he needs to get the job done. So I can see Arkansas having some shooters next year, but you got to think of what is your trade off, you know. And they need some shooters. They're gonna need somebody to replace what Devo. Well, Devo's coming back, but they still need one or two more ball hawking guards that can, if Black stays, he will be that because the defense will improve. He'll and especially if Wash stays, then because one thing I can tell you about Wash, I think I think to me out of those three guys, I think Wash is the best overall basketball player because he's gonna be a great two-way player. Once he get a little bit of confidence and start
Right.
shooting it, because he's already got the defense down. I like his anticipation that he has. Um, like I said,
Yeah.
Black needs to work on his shot. Once he develops a consistent outside shot, then that's going to open up a whole lot more for him getting to the basket. Because right now, teams are going to play him for the drive until he starts to knock down that shot. And when it comes to Nick Smith has the whole package, man. I think with Nick Smith is just a combination of realizing that thing that you were getting off, the shots and stuff that you were getting off in high school, you're not gonna get that off at college, especially when you start playing some of these teams that are just as athletic as you are. Because sometimes he would throw like a running a running jump shot, and like, dude, you gotta hang in there and just break that wrist down and shoot to kill. So to me, I think they all could use another year, but that's just me saying that, brother.
I talked to a kid the other. Matter of fact, I talked to a kid day before yesterday. He
Hmm.
go to school at Fayetteville, and he said he talked to Nick Smith. He said Nick Smith said he's still having trouble with his knee, and that could have a lot to do with the way he played this year.
Well,
Because don't nobody.
now and well then like I said, I'm not a doctor, and I'm just a fan. But my thing of it is, to me, if he's having problem with his knee, then he's to me, I think he still should come back another year. Because as a fan, yeah, I want to see him come back. I would be lying and say I don't. But if he's
Yeah,
still
I
having
do too.
problems with his knee, reason he probably need to come back, because he can make money just for he Nick can easily make over $2 or $3 million a year still being in college. But at least if he came back another year, he would not automatically be exposed to that long season that he's gonna have in the NBA. And of course, right now, if Nick Smith got drafted today, I guarantee you, they would send him down to the G League.
Straight to the G League.
Yeah, he's
It go straight to the G
he would
League.
be in the G League. And I'm not taking anything away from him, but you gotta understand, most NBA teams, you only have a 15-man roster, and so
Yeah,
and he doesn't have a body of work that's gonna blow any team away and say, hey man, we need to get that guy. And yeah, NBA scouts, they know how to evaluate players totally different than you and I, of course of that, but I'm just saying, just based on what I'm seeing, I didn't see enough body of work to let me know that, hey, man, that guy there, man, we need to go and get him. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't see it.
that's true. You look at that kid from Alabama tonight, Miller.
Yep.
He showed his age tonight.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and and to me he's the second best player in the draft. But he
Yep.
showed his youth.
Yep.
He showed that youth side tonight.
I I I,
And
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that, my brother,
yes, sir.
because
Yeah, man. Like a
and the announcers kept saying, oh, when's Brandon Miller gonna take over this game? When's he gonna take over this game? And I kept saying he's not. he,
ah,
he,
ah.
he's not.
Cause man, the, the further you go, the bigger the more pressure you get on you. The bigger the stage is. Don't they realize next Monday night in that national championship game, everybody, just about everybody in the whole world watching you,
Yes,
and it's big for freshmen now. It's big for freshmen.
man. It goes back to what I kept saying, man. Sometime, brothers, the stage is a little bit too big, brother. The stage
Yeah,
is a little bit
too
too
big.
big, for them freshmen.
All
Especially
right.
if you expect them to be the lead dog, and you're just not gonna get that. If you get it, it's great, but more than likely now. what's been helping Brandon Miller out is because he has two senior guards that's playing with him, Quigley and that other kid. So they take a lot of pressure
Right.
off of him, and all he got to do is kind of, let my game come to me, and do my thing. But when now with Arkansas, you got those three guys. Now, if you take Debo out the mix, then you got, especially with your primary ball handler as a freshman, you depending on him to make good decisions, to be able to set the tempo. Because I'm be honest, a couple of veteran guards would have been able to kill UConn's run.
That's right.
They would have been able to
That's
kill
right.
that when UConn was starting to get into that run. You had some veteran guards. Oh man, they'd have slowed that ball down. They'd have slowed that ball down. Like nah. We finna let the air out of this game.
And UConn guards. They got some good solid guards, but they ain't nothing spectacular.
Yeah, but
You
see,
know, they ain't no better than.
when you playing against some freshman guards, when you speed the pace up, they gonna speed the pace up too. And then next thing you know, they running and gunning and not really executing. And it's like, oh, no. Nah.
Yeah, yeah. I seen the opening tip last night. No, Arkansas was in trouble. When I seen that team get them two or three, 4 offensive rebounds, I said, "Yeah, we in trouble."
I know, man. And then the one that got me was this one play where Nick was going to the hoop, and then he jumped in the air and changed his mind and threw the ball away. I like, Nick, man, if you go in there like you go shoot it, man, you better let it go, brother. And it was
So, yeah.
like, and when they got down about 10, I was like, okay, we're gonna do a run, and we tried to, but it was just, this was a team that basically showed the Hogs, we are you 2 years from now. Look and learn
Yeah.
from us. We are you all
Right.
2 years from now, because we got everything,
Yeah.
but we got experience to go along with it. We got, like you said, we got
Right.
shooters, we got ball handlers, we got everything.
Man, they solid. UConn solid, man. They
So,
better than what I thought they were.
solid as a rock.
Yeah, they solid. Right now, they the team to beat.
And I'm gonna be honest
And
with
if I
you,
see one team,
I wouldn't. To me, Alabama's out, so I would love to see UConn against San Diego State. Give me that, and I'm good. I think that would be it. I don't necessarily want to see UConn and Creighton play. But
nah,
I want to see UConn. If they ask me, hey, who you want in this championship game? Give me San Diego State and give me UConn, and let them go at it, because now because I don't think UConn gonna be able to okey doke San Diego State like they did the Hogs, because San Diego State is a bunch of all of them seniors, man.
yeah. And
They
San Diego State is solid too, man.
right, yes. They all seniors, and
They
some
solid.
of those guys are probably 5 and 6 year players. Some of those guys probably 26,
Right.
27 years old, you know? And it's like,
Right.
okay. So that's kind of that's what I wouldn't mind seeing, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Uh-huh.
I definitely wouldn't. If you give me that, I think I'll be good to
Really.
go.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think,
think that'll be a good championship game.
because right now, tomorrow
Yeah.
night, let's see now. Xavier tried to put up a fight against Texas. I think that came down to Longhorns being a little bit more down. Longhorns was a little bit more athletic. I don't think Texas has been tested yet, but they will the next round, because they play the UConn Huskies. Uh, and the other part of me think the winner of that game is gonna go to the championship. Um, Miami handled up on Houston. That was a shocker for me. But then again,
Yeah.
it was and it wasn't, because I'm like you. Sometimes Houston problem is that they coaches cut out the old he kind of recruits. You remember how Georgetown used to recruit the kind of players that they never would have any. They always had some defensive guys, but they wouldn't have any real good shooters. The University of Houston, man, the Cougars, man, they had no shooters, man. All year they never had any shooters. Sasser
They
was
never had no shooters.
Sasser is a scorer. You know, he's tough, but they don't have any like shooters, pure guys that
No,
can stroke it. They didn't have that.
nah,
Now,
nah, they don't have that.
I'm not even gonna lie. I did not, and shame on me for not doing this. I didn't really watch a lot of the Creighton and Princeton game, maybe because they were just two schools that I was like, yeah, okay. I went back and forth on it. I watched some of it, but I wasn't really, that wasn't a game that I really wanted to see. So I mean, and hats off to them. They played hard, but I kind of knew Creighton was gonna win that game too because they're a senior layered team too.
Yeah, they tough too, man. Yeah, they tough too.
But
Cause
don't
Creighton got everybody back from last year.
but don't
And they
sleep
go 10 deep.
but don't sleep on Kansas State.
That's what I just did. You just spoke the word out of my mouth.
Man, do not sleep on
Don't
Kansas
you know
State.
that point? Don't you know that point guard come out of UALR
I knew he looked
from Little
familiar.
Rock?
I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah,
I said, man, that kid looked
yeah,
familiar, man. He looked familiar. So
yeah. He from UAL, transfer from UALR.
I knew he looked familiar. I said, man, I recognize that kid from somewhere. So he's from Eula. Wow.
Yeah, I said, man, Darryl Walker. Which guy went to UALR? Kamani John?
Yeah.
He transferred.
Yeah, he
I said,
definitely.
dog, man, Darryl Walker got rid of a bunch of good players.
Yeah. I don't even know. Is Darryl Walker still coaching Eula or somebody else there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, so.
They ain't hitting on nothing.
Well, we know that he's
He ain't
getting.
doing nothing.
Well, we know he's getting talent, and it's just because
Yeah.
if your talent leave and they start to be productive when they leave, then heck, we got to point the finger at you, the coach, and say, Coach, what's up? What's up? So
That's right, man. Cause you know that.
now I was wrong about this. UConn is not playing Texas next. Texas UConn will be playing Gonzaga, and they're playing tomorrow. So that's gonna be a game because I definitely now I'm the keeper of our pool. So now I definitely need UConn to beat Gonzaga for several reasons. But I definitely want them to win that game. But like I said, don't sleep on Kansas State, and you better be careful about Florida
Oh,
Atlantic.
that's a team right there. I seen them play earlier this year. They dangerous, man. Florida Atlantic, they for real.
For real.
That's a legit team. Yeah,
For real.
yeah. I seen them play earlier this year. They legit.
And then
You
Sunday,
know, they
and Sunday, see, we got Creighton against San Diego State, and then we got Miami playing the Texas Longhorns. Now that is going to be a game.
that's gonna be a good one.
That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. Now, because
That's gonna be a good one.
immediately after the last game, we're going to be coming on with the show. So that'll be, it won't be late, I guarantee you, because that last game starts at 4 o'clock. So usually I think we'll probably be coming on maybe about 7. I'm thinking around about 7 o'clock. That'll be Sunday. And
Okay.
that'll probably be, and then, of course, tomorrow night probably be about, I don't know, 9, 10-ish, because the weekend schedule is going to be a lot different. Yeah. But,
Right.
but anyway, my brother, it has been real. I appreciate you calling. I love talking basketball. And,
Oh yeah.
and let me tell my callers, if you are listening and you want to be a live guest, you can call in at 940-329-4110. This show is streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. And with that saying, you're about to hear the sound of my music. It has been another episode of Sports Therapy March Madness with F.H. Jr. Appreciate everybody calling. And big shout out to our host, Tips Treat, where when you make your order, it is always delivered to you warm. They just will not deliver you a bad cookie. Folks, that has been it. So we're going to wrap it in cabinet and get out of here. All right, this has been Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. March Madness style. I'd like to thank my guest, as always, my homeboy Glenn. He is an expert guru of basketball, the keeper of knowledge. And not only that, he's been my friend ever since we came out the womb. This is F.A. Jr. And I'm saying, we'll see you tomorrow night. Goodbye, everybody. Take us out of here, baby.